everyone. Thought I would return to the videos for a bit while I am preparing for the major open at the British Championships in Turkey in less than 2 months' time. To go back, I thought I would show you a game from the under 160 county series where I was captaining Greater Manchester, and we lost our first match to Nottinghamshire 9-7. So we had this winner takes all match versus Warwickshire, where we had to whoever won goes through to the national stages, because there was only 3 teams in our group, and Nottingham had already beaten both of us to be the Midland champions for 2012-13. So congratulations to them. Now I played myself quite low down, below some 140 odd ECF players. My grade is now 153 long play, which is a lot more than my grade when we last did videos. In fact, I dropped to 134 and then went up 19 points in 6 months, which was quite an achievement, and I may show some games from that brilliant run soon. But most of the games I've annotated are from this season, which has been very up and down. Well, in this game I was playing a 149 ECF graded junior called Matthew Fergusson. Maybe related to Sir Alex, who knows. This was played on the 16th of March 2013, the day before the Manchester Rapid play, which I may show my games from. Now I played B3. Now this move is good against juniors because they're too busy studying Dragon or Najdorf or Schliemann theory to pay this innocent looking pawn move any respect. Also I had this rather drunk bet of playing 1b3 in a game, and I won in 20 moves with it, and then also drew with a 184 ECF with it, so I thought I would keep it for this game. And he played d5, bishop b2, e6, e3, knight f6. So I'm guessing he plays maybe Queen's Gambit declined against d4. Now I played f4, which transposes it into the bird's opening, which starts off with 1 f4. But against the birds, you get this gambit called the Froms with 1 e5, which is very dangerous, and I'm not someone who likes defending against gambits. Of course, this move order isn't possible if black starts off with 1 e5, but if he doesn't, then I play f4. And now it's a reverse Dutch defence. c5, maybe not the best, because now I can get rid of my bad bishop by force, so it's potentially dubious. I played bishop b5 check, and now he played a terrible move, which is also a novelty, and knight c6. I mean, it looks okay, but the problem is now is that I can transpose to a reverse Dimsel Indian and move up, but the move is f4, and in a lot of Dimsel positions, black gets good counterplay with f5. So I'm basically playing one of black's best defences and move up, and I also used to play the Dimsel as black, so I was already feeling pretty confident. The best move is bishop d7, and then we can swap, and chances probably be about equal, but white's position will be a bit easier to play. Knight c6, now bishop takes c6, b takes c6, now d3. So of course the plan is to put all my pawns on light squares, which you may recognise from my Nimzo games, and I want to make sure my dark square bishop has plenty of scope and black's bishop pair are ineffective. I have to make sure his light square bishop is all blocked in, because otherwise I haven't got that bishop, so I could be in trouble. Bishop b7, knight f3. And also I want to get the knight to e5, because in the Nimzo e4 is a very important square for black. So I obviously want to get a piece to e5. And now I've got 2 plans to try and win this game. The first plan is I can swap everything off except the black's white squared bishop and one of my knights, because then I'll have a good knight via bad bishop, and black will have messed up pawns, and it should be pretty easy to win that. Black will be playing basically a piece behind. But I can also use the fact that if you look at black's pawn structure, it's very hard to create any kind of counterplay, and I've got a bishop menacingly pointing at his king in an advanced f pawn, so maybe I can launch threats and maybe a kingside attack. So black plays g6. So black sees the oncoming onslaught and decides to fiend kettle his bishop, although e6 and g6 is a really good combination due to the highlighted weakness of the dark squares. Castles, bishop g7, and now I played queen e2. I have a very similar setup to that 20 move win at Blackpool, but if I had to do it all over again, I would put the queen on e1. It's much better than this. Castles, knight bd2, queen e7, ab1. This is my first thinking of the game, showing how easy the position to play is. I think I just wanted to have the bishop protected in some lines, just a waiting move to be honest. So now we played queen c7. The queen now is very vulnerable on this square, but to be honest it is hard to offer black some good advice. I just occupied e5. Black is now a nightmare. We played d4. Queen takes, king g7, knight back, and after bishop c8, you see now c4 square is open. So white is just a pawn up. So now he plays queen d6. And now I went into thought because I had a feeling my opponent wants to play f6 now. So I wanted to justify my knight on e5 and also looked at potential piece sacrifices on g6 after f6 followed by a rook lift. Now here are some lines I looked at. First I looked at h4, f6, then sack, but it's just a draw actually. Takes. Because rook f3 is no good because the black queen can just draw back and my pawn is stopping the mate. Not good. Another point of move I looked at is rook f3. And now, if f6, now the sack does work because after f takes, it can't be taken because of this. The pawn being on h2 instead of h4 changes everything with devastating consequences. After rook f3, black should play queen e7, and I have to say these moves. This is a simple line by my engine, and white has good attacking chances. The best move actually is to play queen h4. Now f6, knight g4 is too loose there for black. So maybe you should play f5 and then bring the rook in with f3, and white has got a very good position. I opted for knight c4, queen e7 and e5. My plan is knight d6, knight e4, and knight f6 check, and then we bring a rook in and hack h7 off the board. But another plan also was to try and, because now you noticed I've got rid of all these the minor pieces I wanted to get rid of. So another plan is just to swap everything off and grind him down with that knight against the bishop. This is just a dream position for white. So now we played f5, and this gains space on the king's side and stops any f4 to f5 hacks. But this move caused me to change plan again. I played e takes f6 en passant. Now my next plan is to play against the e6 pawn, which is backward on a semi-open file. A bit like the 3 knight f6 Tarrasch, but a great version for white because black has no counterplay. I could also move my queen, but didn't really see any attacking chances, so I changed plan again. So after rook takes f6, rook be1, natural. Queen f7, now rook e4. The plan is to double rooks on the e file without allowing f4 to drop. Another plan which I considered and is actually marginally better according to my engine is knight e5, queen g7, queen h4. And now what I missed was he can't play rook df8. I thought that was a good move, but I have knight g4, and his rook actually drops off next move wherever it goes to a fork on h6. Not good. So he has to play rook ff8, and now if I'd have seen this I'd have now played rook e4, and this is an improvement on game. Rook e4, bishop c8. Now black is trying to liberate with e5, so knight e5, block it and also attack c6. So I played queen c7. So now my young opponent has repelled my cunning plan. His bishop is holding up e6, but I forced his queen away from her husband and he's now protecting a weak pawn. So I decided to go all out attack based on the fact that black's 2 ECF bishop and the block centre means I can throw pawns in front of my king, no real risk. Also, as being captain, I looked at the other boards and we had thrown a couple of promising positions into draws, and the rest of the boards were either unclear or we were likely to lose, so I went all in. h4, very aggressive. And now we play king h8 is the best move, and now h5 takes, queen takes, rook g8 and g4. This still does look very strong for white. But h5 makes things even worse because the g5 witness is a lot more serious than it looks. So I play queen g5, and now black should just have given up c6 just to stop him getting potentially mated with queen g7, knight takes c6, after rook d5, rook e5, and black isn't going to be mated, but he has lost the pawn and white still has a bind, and there's still weakness on a7 to aim at, and white still has a superior minor piece. So to king g7, now I didn't find the best move actually. I should have played rook f3 and it actually wins a pawn by force around black's king, because the thing is I'm threatening rook g3 where you can't defend g6 again. The only move to defend it again is to bring the bishop round. But after rook g3 I have 2 threats, knight takes g6 and queen takes h5, so you see white has won an important pawn around black's king and will probably win this position fast. The point of rook f3 is that black can't bring defences in g6 in time to break the pin on the g6 pawn, so it loses either way. But I played this quite quickly, g4, and now he plays rook h8. So now in a few lines coming up, black's heavy pieces nearly sneak in, but I am careful not to let this happen, and now I play a very strong move. I play f5. White comes crashing through with decisive effect. This is like a kitchen sink now. If he tries rook h6, I have seen this combination with queen takes f6 check, king takes f6, g5, king back, takes, and f6. I'd seen this in the work and found out the f pawn was just going to queen. The game continuation is elegant as well. So e takes f5, g takes f5, and now if bishop takes f5 then I play rook takes f5, takes. And white is winning the king. So after rook h6, now the queen sack doesn't work because there is no g5 check, and I thought I'd blown it at this point. I was struggling to find a move, and now I am facing with threats on f5 now, and my king is looking a wee bit open. but I still had 20 minutes left for 6 moves, so after a few minutes I found a crushing knight sacrifice that wins in all lines. After 10 minutes fought I whipped it out. My opponent in return went down for about 10 minutes, less than 2. He looked shell shocked, and this is my favourite moves. Now there's a couple of moves that look like good knight sacrifices in this position, but which one is it? If you'd like to stop the video. I saw maybe giving the move away, but maybe try and calculate to the finish, because it's not the only move you have to see. So pause. Now we resume. I played knight takes c6. So this is actually the only winning move, and the point is it gains a decisive entry into e7 by force. The knight supports rook e7 check, winning the black queen. If the rook takes, then queen drops. So after queen takes c6, it seems that he has a defence. This is very ironic how that powerful knight sacrifices itself for a weak double pawn to win the game. After rook e7 check, king f8. Now if I grab the h6 rook I lose, but I find a quiet but killing move, rook fe1. I am a piece down, but I have far too many threats, and there is no checks against my king either. Now black has to move the rook, and the cherry on top is my next move. After rook h8, I played rook e8 check. This deflects the black queen and wins all of black's pieces, or his king is in the game. Because instead of, he has to play queen takes e8 to avoid mate, but after queen takes f6 check, that is hopeless. He played with his king, and now I just went check. Bang, 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 bang. Checkmate. A beautiful attacking game which shows that 1b3 can cause opponents new problems. In the end we did lose the match 9-7 and win out in the groups, which is not good to say we won it the previous year. Shows how much of a bad captain I must be. But this was a very nice game, and I've been playing bad up to, I just had that horrible tournament at BlackElo, so this gave me a bit of confidence. And I hope you enjoyed the 1b3 Immortal game, and one of my favourite games of all time. And I hope you enjoyed me returning to the videos. So please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.